Hey guys, and welcome to another JFC Jackson Bryan with Fry again. Fry, how's it doing? You say you're cooking before we did actually start, and I don't mean with opinions, I mean with actual food.
Oh yeah, I'm cooking actual food. I don't usually have cooking opinions. That's how I use the term. That's how the TikTok kids use it. Cooking opinions. I think that's how they do it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm cooking actual food.
Mm. Yeah, so
Mhm.
who else is you don't cook with opinions, but you know who else doesn't cook? The Reggae Boys delegation, and the team has been named. That's why we're doing this. It's been recorded on the cusp of the team being released. For some reason there was a whole change with the media thing, so that was held off from being live. Now the team has been named again. The same three goalkeepers I could name: Jameli White, Andre Blake, Shaquan Davis. Um, you go into defense. That's where you see a bit of change. Amari Bell from Luton Town is back into the squad, back from his injury.
Big, big.
Damian Lowe is there along with Mason Holgate, Richard King, and Ethan Pinnock. Deshaun Bernard and our
What
centre backs.
what a defense! What the defense is looking good. Defense is obviously our best portion of the pitch. I can say
It's
that honestly.
it's the most crowded portion.
Mhm.
It is the most crowded portion,
If
and
you fail to mention a name that I think is really important, Richard King is in the squad.
no, I did say Richard King. You just
Oh, oh,
you that's a big you never there
sorry about that.
Midfielders: Casey Palmer, McGee is back, Karoy Anderson, Lottie Badair, and the newest member of the Reggae Boys team, Isaac Hayden.
Who?
Thoughts on
Who?
why you on this thing, man? So Hayden plays for Newcastle. I for the life of me thought he was still at Norwich, but he's playing with Newcastle's reserves, which doesn't really help us because he's not playing at any high level at all. But he's an actual midfielder, an actual number six that we've not had for a while. Maybe he can help us progress with the team. And then the forwards, Romario Williams, who scored in the last international break for us, Ronaldo Cephas, Mikel Antonio, Damari Gray, Hakeem Dixon, Shamar Nicholson, and Leon Bailey.
It's looking really good. It's looking really good. Before before I go into what everybody is going into, I wondered why what the boss name number 21 Norman Campbell. He got his chance with the squad, and he looked really good. He looked really good, and I think he did deserve another call up back. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask if you thought anybody was snubbed from the team, and Norman Campbell is a good shout. He's a very electric winger, a bit untidy, but he's a modern day winger in terms of how he just sprints down and tries to take on his man. Um, for me, I think Daniel Johnson could have still been in the squad, the midfielder, because again, out of the midfielders we've just
Who?
named, we
Who?
only
Daniel
have
Johnson can't play 90 minutes, bro. Daniel Johnson literally
bro,
cannot play 90 minutes. What are you
bro,
talking about, man?
bro. We have three number tens, a centre back, and a number six. We actually don't have somebody to connect defense and attack in the team. He's literally the only midfielder I can think of who's been in and around the squad in the past. I would say year and a half, who can do that role. So I think he should have been in there, especially since Cephas is being called up. No disrespect to Cephas, but they're in the same division, and Johnson is a consistent starter, while Cephas is a consistent bench warmer.
I don't like how you phrase that. I think you could have phrased that more politely, but I understand what you're saying. I completely understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
as I said,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Who else I think could have been into the squad? You mentioned something, and I think I'm obligated to say it. You're saying like we don't have anybody to push up into the midfield, so it's like a low hanging fruit. But I have to say it,
oh
Damian
my
Lowe can push up into the midfield. All right, now that I meet the quota, saying Damian Lowe push up in the midfield every episode, we can move on. Thank you for listening.
But, all right.
Yes, I have a quota that I have to meet.
Yeah, he's actually being paid for it, guys. So every now and again, Damien does share some of his Saudi royalties with him. I'm completely joking, by the way. Um, but let's actually dissect the squad in terms of the players that are there. We can start with the forward line, obviously. Mikel Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, the two strikers that we're accustomed to and who we expect to be leading the line for us. But then you see players who have a player who has not been here for some time in Leon Bailey. We know it's a touchy topic. Um, any thoughts on Leon? Villa play Liverpool later today, if I'm not mistaken. So anything can happen between now and then.
Oh, I get what you're saying. You say that he's gonna be injured in the next few hours, and then and then not be fit to play for the national. I see. Read between the lines. That's a good tactic. That's a good tactic. To be honest, Liam Bailey, um, the squad needs quality on that right hand side, and it would be a stretch to say Liam Bailey isn't a quality footballer. So that's me putting it lightly. So I think it's good that he's been called up. Will he show up? That's me. That I think that's the question now, because we've seen injuries, excuses, displeasure with the JFF, displeasure with the manager. We've seen a whole bunch of charades, booger foolishness as it regards to Liam Bailey. So until him dip on the pitch, I kick some ball. I'm not believing it. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
completely understand because that's how we have to view it. Leon has rejected the country multiple times, so we have to see him as the enemy until he does, actually try to do some good and perform for the country. Um, into midfield, you look at it, and McGee keeps his place in the team. Do you think that's fair?
I I I think, of course, I do. I do. I mentioned Norman Campbell. I think the same thing applies to him, and it's good that he got his shot. As I say, the squad is short of quality midfielders. He's not a six, but he does move around, and has the ability to dictate play. Uh, so him giving another chance in the squad, I think, is a good idea. Especially coming directly from JPL and schoolboy football. And they play JPL? I don't remember. I think he did.
Yeah, it was a short stint. I think it was at Harborview for a little while. Um, yeah. Uh, Casey Palmer, Isaac. Well, we've spoken about Hayden already. The defense is where you do love the defense. I don't have to mention Damian Lowe and Richard King. Um, but Mason Holgate, a lot of you fans, some of you were very
Come on.
unhappy with him
Don't
the
do this
last.
to me.
You might don't do this. You were one of them who were leading the brigade of him not good, him not for there. You're one of them,
I,
right?
Wait a minute. Let me defend myself. I didn't say he's not good. I don't know for there. I was saying how the hell him get called up and start over low. Come on, please. The man did look so trash. I spam long ball the last match, bro. Come on, if him go on the pitch and do the same thing, I'm gonna be so pissed, because Damian Luke can do the exact same thing, but better, and get two yellow cards in the first half and get sent off. So just come on, man. Just I don't want to see Mason Hogan starting over overload. That's disgraceful. Disgraceful.
No, but that's just the thing, bro. I keep telling you, there was nothing else he could do. Like even Pinnock was doing the same thing, and Pinnock knows how to play through the press. Like I tell you, until we sort the midfield out, the defenders are going to keep the side to side long ball tactics, which we don't really want to see. Um,
Hmm.
so we spoken about Holgate.
I have a good point to bring up. In that match, I think you brought it up too, where Pinnock got fed up with the bullshit and just dribble out the wall of the pitch, just dribble down the wall of the left flank, and went straight back. I had to turn back because nobody never good enough. So you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
having somebody who's good on the ball. I don't know if I haven't seen much of Mason Holgate. I'm being honest, and it's just biased to Damian Lowe at this point. But I think I should give some grace, and if he gets a start, I'll try to look at it through an unbiased lens. Uh, yeah, yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, yeah, but I hope he does get well. You see, that's the thing, because if we're to be biased, Mason Holgate doesn't start because obviously Pinnock is the only centre back, or probably the only member of the defense who is nailed down. Nobody would remove him from their starting 11 predicted or whatever. But this centre back partner would be the only change. For you would be Damian Lowe. For me would be Deshaun Bernard. And for others, you have people who would want to see Richard King starting instead, or even have Greg Lee play beside him and Amari Bell at the left fullback position. In terms
Mm.
of that, though, Bell, who has just come back from injury, actually played in his first game in a while against Middlesbrough today. He was substituted at halftime. I don't think it was injury related because they were already down 4-0 to Middlesbrough. So um, it's good that he's playing some minutes. Do you see him coming in and starting straight away, or does Greg Lee still have the start against the
Uh,
United States?
Greg Lay usually plays on the left, but isn't Greg Lay like right-footed?
No, he is left-footed but can play right
Oh,
back.
okay. Well, if that's the case, um, Greg Lay can play, as I say, he can play left and right. So I think Greg Lay starts because Greg Lay is he really is a brilliant fullback. He's underrated if I might say so. So I think Greg Lay still starts, and maybe Amar Bell can get some minutes seeing that he's just coming back from injury. I don't think he should just go straight into the nonsense ball game and injure himself. Cause I know Jamaica will not go play no sensible ball game. As a matter of fact, I don't know who picked the squad this time because I don't know if McLaren learn anything about the side yet. Uh, that's the next thing. Maybe he was just given the best squad by somebody else and just working with that because I don't think he knows his best 11 yet. So that's another thing as well. So I expect him to stay with Greg Lay, since he's been cooking so far. So when I expect Amar Bell to just jump in, even though Amar Bell is good as well.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. You can't just throw him straight into the thick of it. Um, then the goalkeepers. I mean, it's rinse and repeat basically. Andre Blake, Jamali Wade, Shaquille Davis. I have no I have no words in regards to bro. What are you watching?
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. Anyway, I have no words in regards to the keepers that keep getting called up. Obviously, I have a certain bias to a certain keeper, which just doesn't seem to get called up at all. Regardless, I think if even when Blake was not fit, I really was looking forward, but that's not happening. Um, we are about 4 or 5 days away from the game against America at the national stadium. I think it's a two-legged affair. So first leg here, second leg abroad. What do you expect to see from us with the additions of Hayden to make that, say, a different midfield outlook and possibly a different way to play through the opponents?
Based on that you said about him, he's a young midfielder, so I'm not expecting him to revolutionize how the squad plays. I'm just
Who said
hoping
he's young?
him all or how much 45.
It's not 45. I think Isaac Hayden is about 29 years old.
And the man played at Newcastle reserves. Jesus,
He was there
that's
in
horrendous.
Bruce
That
days and
is
not, they've not.
horrendous. um, yeah, the sentiment has changed completely. Seeing that he's a more seasoned midfielder, I'm hoping that he has a level of quality for him to be called up, right? So despite him being old fart and still playing in reserves, I hope the experience and the knowledge on the pitch is shown through that first match.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the main issue. We keep saying the midfield. There are other creators in the country who have touched on that as a problem area in the for the country as well. Um, how do we fix this going forward? Because as you see, right, he is of age. He is of age, Isaac Hayden. So and behind him there was this kid Adrian Reed Jr. who they just stopped calling up all of a sudden, and I have no idea why. So how the hell are we going to progress with this? I've been watching schoolboy football all season. I've not seen any gems in the number six position. So how do we move forward with this issue basically? Is it better scouting needed? Do I mean what do we need? Right?
So I think a couple generations well before we have a quality number six out of Jamaica side. Um, I think it's just we're just going to have to continue to do what works so far. The English rejects. Uh, you know, we had a good midfielder in what about his name?
Who's
Ravel Mercer. I don't think he was a number six,
Raven?
but he played. Yeah, but I don't know him have autism, so he's not really playing football at again. So I don't know what's going to happen with the midfield situation. I think we're going to continue working with just what we can work with so far. Like Isaac Hayden's a new. At least they're trying. The reality is that they are trying to add some new aspects into the midfield to see what works instead of just working with the same old that hasn't been producing the standard that is necessary to take us to the World Cup, for example, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good reaction.
Yeah, I mean it's probably our worst the worst thing with this squad. Um Moving into other topical news, not just with the JF, well, not only with the Reggae Boys squad, but there are other things going on in Jamaica. Just deterring away from sport a bit. Um your favorite musician, Adidja Palmer, Vibes Cartel, nominated for a Grammy. How do how do you feel about that news?
Um, Grammy. Uh, Despite being in the States, I don't really care for the American awards to be completely honest. It's just a what I'm saying. Cartel winning if Cartel being nominated for a Grammy not really change much. Um, it's to be expected because come out and as relates to dancehall and reggae. 'Cause I think that's a genre, right? Because I think you have a reggae genre
Yeah, yeah.
specifically. And for the last few years has been some white reggae bands that's had a hold of the genre and the Grammys. So I think it's good, but it's not a big deal because really and truly, Grammy no matter to Cartel, Grammy no matter to Jamaicans, uh, and Cartel don't need the recognition from the Grammy. He's already worldwide known. And as long as he continue to put out good music and get him health together, I think that would be way better for him than any Grammy or any trophy.
That's I couldn't say it better myself, right? Um, just final topic before we do move
That I told you that
into
the comment is coming, word boss. That I told you that the comment is coming. You know what I wonder? You know what I wonder? Remember,
yeah,
say some of them, some must see them, some must say Tanisha. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, the lyrics go something like that. The lyrics go
oh
something like that. I don't
yeah,
know the new one them yet, but soon learn them. But I don't know.
just go listen one of
Yeah,
the match. Yeah, good man.
it seemed like Jackson internet cut out, so I go around for a bit.
You hear
Um,
me?
Speaking of Grammys, they must have Beyonce get nominated must have 15 million times.
Yeah, but final piece before we turn over to you, though, Fry. Um, there is Kahim Dixon in the squad, right? And we know he's a Charlton player, etc., etc. Um, we've seen that he's not a starter for the country yet, which is understandable at his age, but he's not the first man up, if you know what I mean. Like when it comes to subs, he won't come on until 75, 80 minutes into the game to get a run out, and he's normally the brightest player. Um, if Steve McLaren does see this by any chance, is there anything you'd like to say to him about Kahim Dixon?
Um, I don't think there's anything that I can say that hasn't been seen already. He really and truly is Jamaica's brightest spark. Uh, I don't know if using him at the end of the game is the best decision, but I think he can provide a lot more if him come on probably in the 60 minutes. You know, if you give him a bit more time, because he does look exceptional coming on when he gets like basically 5 minutes. You know, so give him some more time and let's see what else he can do. I think that would be good. He's proven that he's quality. Yeah, it it clear as day, clear as day. If me have to tell McLaren for give him on 60 minutes, McLaren is a done spot. Might be completely honest. I mean, get him on some time. I probably start him at like probably sub him on at like 60 minutes. That's what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's nothing more to add from my point of view. What about you?
Well, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, currently it would make more sense for him to not be in the squad just to further his own, what's the word I could use, let's say his own physique, because we've seen him, he's a very small character and he's playing in a very rough league, which it will take a toll on his body. Then he's over here in Jamaica where he has a little more space and can use, but then he gets so used to here, he goes back to Charlton, the roughhousing starts again, he's dropped off until he can fight back. So for me, I think it would be better for him to focus on Charlton. Not saying, just always reject it, but focus on Charlton, become a key member, which probably won't happen this season. But currently, there's nothing that we are playing for as Jamaicans. World Cup qualifiers don't start until next year, and Nations League is just a way to get into Copa. And it makes no sense to go to Copa America if we're not scoring goals.
Hmm. I think that's a brilliant point. That's a brilliant point. Just to play devil's advocate, you could say that seeing that he's not getting a lot of game time in Charlton, coming to Jamaica and getting some game time, if it's just a few minutes, looks good because um, every time he's on the pitch, he looks excellent. He brings up the energy. Maybe gets a shot off. Last match I watched, he's the first player to get a shot on target in however how much minutes, which is crazy. So him getting some game time could also be good because he's not getting much either at Charlton. Uh, I know that
Yeah.
Charlton. Speaking of Charlton, I think Charlton hosted. I think a Jamaican side. Which Jamaica side? Must have Arnett or one of them, and played with them.
Oh, that's probably back.
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know what he's talking about, and I was back with Mount Pleasant as well. But I get his point, and while he's not here, I'll just keep elaborating. But I think that with him not playing, and and Fry did mention Norman Campbell earlier in the show. Norman Campbell is playing for Rangers FC in I think it's Denmark or Norway. I don't remember. It's in somewhere in Scandinavia, and he who is playing is not being. He's losing out on his space for a. He's a talented kid. Don't get us wrong, Kahim Dixon, very talented kid, but he's not at the level to be replacing Norman Campbell yet because he's not getting game time. And Nathan Jones is a very good youth coach, I'd say. He knows how to transition. I mean, it didn't work at Southampton, really didn't. But everybody failed that year at Southampton, and currently Russell Martin is failing, even though he's doing everything right. So That's the main reason because I haven't checked the comments under the posts yet. Last time I checked it immediately and I saw how everyone was on Kaheem's back because he's not playing, etc., etc. I'm gonna check them after the show and see, but it it would be more sensible to keep him away from the national team setup just for now. Because let's say look at Trevante Stewart, who had that thing with he and Leon were both out and both are suspended. Trevante has found form in Serbia and he's playing consistently for his team. But he looks as far away from the national team as ever. So there's that as well with
All
him.
right, I'm back to Dunce Up the podcast. You were saying some brilliant points. I was listening to you, and outright, I was just playing devil's advocate. What you said was phenomenal. Can't really argue with that logic, any at all. Um, I'd second it for sure. Norman Campbell, seeing that he's playing regularly and stuff like that, it makes more sense for him to have that position than Dixon just getting 5 minutes. And it makes sense. It makes sense. You have little sense sometimes. You have it. I'll grow you. Tell him somebody give him some props. You have little sense, man.
Oh boy, all right, but yeah, we will go ahead and take a quick break. It was just this show is literally just to react on the squad because it should have been done on Friday, and we'd have much more to get into. But seeing as they've just done it now, we're just reacting. We'll take a quick break. 30 seconds, Fry. You have been cooking, so 30 seconds, we'll find out who kicks the bucket this week.
Hey, yeah, welcome back. I just took a very extended break. The executive producer was upset and scolded me. But this is part of my show where I tell you who is going to kick the bucket this week. And a lot of minds, a lot of no, not minds, a lot of names ran through my head. And I knew it was going to be bad when I realized that it was football related. And then I decided to change it mid-sentence because it has to be Kamala Harris. How you lose? You're not good. You're not good. You pull out all of the stops. You have Megan Thee Stallion at twerk on stage. You have Cardi B at twerk, but you have Ice Spice, all of the twerkers. The twerkers all over the world come and twerk on stage, and you still lose. Oh, you're not good, brother. You're not good. Get wrecked. The man Trump get shot must 3 times and him still win. How you bet the man? Hey, you're not good, man. You're not good. From my sister, I talk about yeah, yeah. I was being cancelled by the media. They didn't want me to talk the truth, but yeah, basically, Kamala kick the bucket because she lose against Trumps. Um, it might be a trend, but whenever Trump go against woman, he will win. So stop putting him up against women for God's sake, please. No man do not lose. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, come on, like, kick the bucket, get wrecked. You're not good, skill issue. How about you?
Skill issue, boy. I come back with that. But I can't disagree with you because look, that was the quickest selection ever. I will tell you that because me look on the US election every now and again, and me tell you this right now. I think voting officially closed on the East Coast at I think around 6 p.m. and Donald win the election at 8. It never closed. It never closed
Landslide.
at all. Because he had what 150 electoral votes by 8 o'clock when Kamala had 27. I mean, no, how it going on? Where you need to get 270 and his majority of the red states they come in at that time. But I still said regardless of if Trump officially won or not, there's no way he would have given up office because he would have seen the lead and say they cheated again, they robbed the election again, and then no one would get office, and then we'd have anarchy in the United States. So this is literally the best outcome. But yeah, Kamala, hey, all I'm saying is I saw a tweet after the results were final, and it was they put Donald the caption Donald Trump when it comes to women and put a picture of Mason Greenwood. But I will move on. I will move on. I
And on that note,
yep. For me, who's kicking it? Sorry. Who kicks it this week? It has to be LeBron James, right? And it's for obvious reasons. Because why you're embarrassing your child? You know him never ready, right? He's not good enough to play in the NBA yet, right? Maybe he'll be good enough in 2 years, maybe a year, right? But right now you're just embarrassing. I mean, after the after the Lakers played the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards saw Bronny James and he was just like, "You ain't even got to shower. You only played 3 minutes." Like you have people just like disrespect your child out there, and then you're doing nothing about it. Nothing at all. I mean, bro, like I know it's his whole thing because he's going to him don't know how long he's gonna continue playing, and he would love to play alongside his son. But you could have wait. You could have just make him live, and then you bring him into the league. It's not fair on Branny, and it's not fair on you. So LeBron have to cut for that.
crazy. That's it
Hmm.
right there. That's it right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, man. But thanks everybody for who tuned in to watch and listen to it on YouTube. Um, Sav was in a what was he? What did he say was happening? I didn't listen the mess.
He was in a cult and he had to do some sacrifices. So it's cult duties.
Yeah, so that's why he wasn't here because he really wanted to have a debate with Fry about something about Darwin Nunez's feet. I have no idea.
Me? What me do? I've never spoken about Darwin Nunes a day in my life, fam. Huh?
Uh, yeah, man. But thanks guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week, which will be after the match, and we'll either be very depressed or we'll be very content. I vote for the first option. We'll see. We'll see you guys next week after the match. Vamos, Fry, keep cooking.
Peace.